Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. To get a PDF version of this tutorial, join our community on Patreon at patreon.com/ArielCad3D. You'll get access to our starter pack files, blueprints, transcripts, early access to our content, as well as native CAD files. You also get master course lessons that are available at our flexible tiers. So click the link in the description box below and you can join as a free member or any tiers that suit your needs. Now we can add the corners. We'll start with the rear section. So select corner. You can select this line and this spline. Hold on, there was another one that was selected. Okay, we'll undo that. Undo. Escape. This one is already selected, so you can deselect by clicking anywhere else. So corner. These two lines. And then another one here. Just a second. Okay. We can double click to make sure it stays on. Okay. There it is. And I want to check if we are supposed to bring it closer to the middle section. I think we should raise it a little bit more, but we will check on that. Anyway, let's have another one here. Make it as long as possible. Then we've got these two sections. Like so. All right, you can exit that. Then once again with my image. So what I was trying to check is this curve is not at the center, so it's aft or before the center of the wheel. And you can compare that with ours. Perhaps you can bring it just a little bit. You can use this point to control where the center is, and I just want to bring it towards this side a little bit, and then try to adjust these points to fit the curvature. Okay, you can tweak the values to fit how you want it to be. Just I'm not getting it. Okay, you don't have to be super exact. Or maybe, yeah, not bad, not bad. Let me try to move these two together. I don't think I made any much changes to this. But anyway, I think we have sufficient room. We have sufficient room for a rear pumpkin. this line should be at the center of this circle, like so. I'm going to fix this because I just know I'm going to fix this too, so that when I move the other parameters, we don't keep going in circles. So I'm going to fix those two. And then this line, it's supposed to go a bit lower. What's this coincidence? Let me double click on that and see. We've got a point. Oh, with this point, yeah, we should delete that. We should definitely delete that. I don't need that. That's why it's affecting it when I move this component here. I was wondering why. So that we can move this down here, like so. And then I can fix that as well. Okay. That looks good. The front section, you know, I can delete the radius so that when I move the points, the radius can adjust, because once we fix it, it's going to be hard to. And then, well, this starts from here, right? And then this point extends up to this section. So I want to control the radius of this part right here. So I'm going to give this line a dimension. And it appears we're going to round off to the nearest whole number. So that's 40 millimeters. 40 millimeters. Then I can zoom in and adjust like so. All right, not bad. Let's see the rear side. Again, we give this a dimension, and it appears to be 30. It appears to be 30 millimeters. Now we can have this and then later on add another section that is going to contain the holes, or we can just make this a construction element and add the external part. All right, but in my initial design I made them separately because I wanted this to have a bigger width, the part where we have this these holes where we are putting on the bolts. But let's try the other way. So we're going to take this line and make it a construction element, and then we'll just have an arc starting with 2 limits. Now, because I want to be sure, I'm going to take this point. Hold on. Going to take this point and make it coincident. Alternatively, you can just have tangency, but since these two lines are different, it's better to just make this line coincident like that. And then we're going to have another circle So we've chosen this as our center. We're going to have a hole to the nearest number. This is about 15. All right, so hole is 15. Let's see. This circle is about, the radius is 15. This is the diameter. Okay. Let's try that on the other side as well. So we're going to make this a construction element, and then we're going to have an arc starting with 2 limits. Then I'm going to select its center. Where is the point? Okay, the point is right here. Oh my. Can't seem to select the point. I don't even know if I have selected it or not. So point, okay, and line. Then make them coincident. Then create a circle for the hole, concentric, and the diameter. Let's see, this one is larger, so maybe 20. And we can move this line, adjust it to kind of, move to the center bit. All right. Let's see the other one. I know I'm taking this slow, but I really want the beginners to benefit from this as well. So I'm trying to make it slow paced to make sure that you get all the details. We've completed that. That looks good. Then you can exit the workbench. That's going to be our side profile. Now remember, usually we can add thickness to something because we're going to have a hollow section. But in this case, we're just going to be a little bit creative. First, we're going to create a block, a complete block, and then we're going to sketch on the top section. We can sketch first the top section. Then we're going to cut out this, and then we're going to create a hollow part inside. Okay. So to sketch the top section, we can select the XY plane and sketch. Then we can go over the part because we're going to use the other section to cut it out. So we can begin here. Then we've got this section all the way to here. Straight, and then it kind of narrows down to this section, and then all the way here. Okay, we've got thickness. Then we've got a widened section here so that it can accommodate this thinner section. So I will bring it up to here. Then go back here. Don't know this constraint, the parallel constraint. Okay, here. And then kind of then close. Then we're going to make the adjustments. So it seems this is a bit wider. I'm using this section to map it out. So it's wider like so. And then I'm going to bring it all the way to where we have the body being a bit thin. This is going to be horizontal as well. Let's make it horizontal. So these two are horizontal. Then this and this should be parallel to each other. This member should be horizontal as well because I want to add thickness. All right. Now I don't think it should be horizontal from what I can see. Let me just undo that. Okay, we leave it as it is. Cool. Then we can control the thickness, the width, using this dimension here. So this appears to be 40. Remember when you're reverse designing, you're kind of making estimations using this. We don't have an exact blueprint with dimensions, so you'll have to be creative. You have to be a bit creative. So this section doesn't really matter much, but I do want to have the distance between these two okay, can be 60, no problem. I know it thins out on the exterior side, so that's 60. And then we're going to make it uniform, so I'm also going to make this to 60 as well. And then this member here, it's going to be 40. All right. So 40 on the extents, then we have 60 on the inner sides. Then this side you just have to estimate. So it's parallel to this one, and it just extends up to, it extends, sorry, up to where we have the radiator. So this is the radiator right here. Cool. That looks good. So it means using this top view sketch, we can create a beam, and then we are going to cut it out using this side profile. Sounds good. So we're going to select a pad. We're going to select this as our profile, and limit 1 should be above. We can go to the side view. So we've got limit 1, it can be up to that point, and limit 2 up to that point. I'm going to select part body and make it a bit darker. Hold on. Part body, make it a bit darker. Why does it appear the same? Oh yeah, right. Got a face with different what? All right, and then we can cut it out using this section. So we're going to create a pocket. Select this, pull through, and then we're going to reverse side so that we have the intersection. Right. So now we have this beam. But remember, I said it's hollow. It's hollow, so we can use, we have a different tools to make that. You can either make a sketch that is indented inwards at a certain number, but as you can see, because we have non-uniform cross section, it's better to use this shell. And then you have faces to remove. I don't know if it's going to propagate. I want it to propagate the thickness along this, so you can select here, and we are going to see if it's going to propagate, and then we're going to give it a thickness. But because we've got skinny, let's try 5, see if it's going to work. Propagate faces to remove, and then propagate other thickness faces. Let's see what it says. That's pretty thin for a cross member, although it did cut it out. So we've got a hollow section, but it didn't propagate these faces. So I'm going to select it once more, and then you can use this icon to add faces. I'm just going to select all of them, and then we're going to try 10. So we don't want to have outside thickness because this is going to be over what we have in the blueprint. So we just want inside thickness. Let's see. Perfect. That is what I wanted. So we've got this section here with a hole. We've got a hollow section, and we've got another section here, again with a hole, which is has a thickness of 10 millimeters. So we've got one cross member. So all you have to do is mirror it on the other side, and then you can add the cross members, right? So you can select mirror using the, is it the ZX plane? And you've got that. You can check the side view to see if it fits. Yep. Now, where are we going to have cross members? So you have cross members where you're carrying a bit of load. One section is where you have the seats. You can see you have the seats right here. We're gonna need a cross member here to support that weight. We've got these wheels right here, and then we need to have an anchor for that. So that's 2. You've got an engine here that needs support. So, and then you've got the radiator here that also needs support. So you can have cross members at those respective positions. So we can start with where we've got the radiator. And if you go to the front view and zoom in, you can see the outline of the radiator, where the radiator sits. And you can see the cross members that you just created, right? So from there you can sketch a profile. So we're going to select the ZY plane. And I'm going to select profile. Then from here, you want this member to touch the wall. So we're going to have this. Then the center of this curve to the center of the curve. Then up to the center. Then we have that. Then once again start from here. I can try to recreate the bottom one using a spline. Like so. I don't know what was the thickness of our side profile. Maybe I can go to the side. So it is this cross section. So we need to make sure it doesn't exceed that width. But either way, we can try to estimate. Maybe we're going to measure it afterwards. Or alternatively, hold on, alternatively, I can delete this, make this shorter, and then create something like this. All right. Then we can mirror this on the other side. So select this line. This is just a construction element. Then I can select my geometry, symmetry using this axis, the vertical axis. Oh, before I do that, we've got a corner. We've got a corner here. And it's not a construction element. so that our geometry matches what we have. Let's work with that for now, and then we'll see what happens. It's a bit smoother. So select our geometry, deselect this line, symmetry using the vertical axis. Okay. We're going to stick with the right side when adjusting, maybe. I'm just going to leave it at that.